What was the $25,000 California Raisin treasure hunt? And how's it linked to Back to the Future? Let's find out. Now, if you saw my video yesterday, I found a picture of two kids hanging out with some store visit He-Man and Skeletor right here. And I noticed that one kid was wearing a shirt. It says something about a $25,000 reward for finding California raisins. Yeah, a treasure hunt. So I was intrigued. I never heard about this. And I assumed it was something related to those California raisins. Remember those guys always dancing around on your TV? I think they probably even had a cartoon series. Hell, probably even had a video game. So, started to dig into it. Fired up my computer, went on Google, started searching around. California Raisin Contest, treasure hunt, nothing. I'll even ask AI. It knows everything. Didn't know about this treasure hunt. And I kept searching. California Raisins, treasure hunt, mixing all the words together, see what I could find out. But I could find nothing related to this. Did this kid just make this shirt to try to impress this fake He-Man and Skeletor? Started to think that might have been a possibility. Or maybe it was just some kind of local contest. Didn't really mean nothing. And they live in a small town, and that's why I couldn't find anything about it. But a small town giving away $25,000 for finding raisins? It just didn't make sense to me. And then I had a thought. Let's dig into it, but look at the company behind those singing raisins. Who was that? Can you believe it? California has a raisin board. Yeah, it's not like a brand of raisins. They have this whole board of people, and their whole thing is to get people excited about buying raisins. California, let me look at the name. The California Raisin Advisory Board. That's got to be one wacky job. Can you imagine just trying to get people excited about raisins? So I decided to take out just California Raisin in my search. And I knew that the raisin dances started around 1986, so that's around the time I was looking for information. So I took that out. I started digging around using just the advisory board plus treasure hunt. I couldn't find anything. Went to Google, nothing. Figured I'd go over to the old news groups of the 90s. Maybe someone talked about it there. That's a good place to find old information. Nothing about this treasure hunt. I asked again, AI, being that now I was going to use it by the advisory board instead of about those dancing raisins. Still, I didn't get much. They gave me a few leads that didn't really check out, but I really didn't find much there. So, I got a free account at newspaper.com. This lets you search all kinds of newspapers all over the country, from way back to the 1800s. So I set my time between 1980 and 1989. This had to be in the 80s. You could tell that by the picture of meeting He-Man and Skeletor. And this is when I hit pay dirt. I found out exactly what this contest was. What did you have to do to win $25,000? And you found out how I won it. And then I found another article that's somewhat related, connected to Back to the Future and a lawsuit. So let's get to this contest. What was this contest? Well, the California Raisin Advisory Board, around the summer of 1984, wanted to boost sales in raisins. Seemed there had been a raisin surplus, and they had I guess the state had a bunch of raisins they didn't know what to do with. So what did they do? They started out a contest being held in 8 major cities. And this would go on through the radio, and it said national TV ads would also be included, but I could find no videos on YouTube or anything about this, so maybe they're lost media. But in these 8 major cities, they would run this contest where you could win $25,000. Now, how this kid got this cool shirt, I don't know. So what did you do to win it? Well, I couldn't find a lot of information on how to get into the contest. It seems 7 people were picked. Now, I couldn't find out how these 7 people were picked, what they had to do to get into that final contest area to win the $25,000. So anyway, these 7 people would all get a trip to New York City. That's right, the Big Apple, New York City. And what did they do? Well, each one got a chauffeured limousine to drive around Manhattan. So there were 12 boxes of raisins hidden around these landmarks, and you had to find them. And the first person to bring It said all 12 of them back, so I don't know if each landmark had 7 of them each for one winner and you took one. Because it seemed like if somebody beat you to one before you got to the other, then you wouldn't have all 12. But it said the first person who gets back with the boxes of raisins would win $25,000. And that winner was a woman from Los Angeles, California. Terry Esposito. Esposito, I think that's how you say it. Esposito. She won the $25,000. Now, what did she do with this $25,000? I'm not sure. How much did she give to the tax man? I don't know about that either. But at least I found out what this contest was. Again, it was started in 1984, the summer of 1984, but the New York trip, the contest ended there somewhere around early October. And no, this had nothing to do with the Dancing Raisin. Although they were both made by the California Advisory Board of Raisins, this was 2 years before the Raisins was even a thing. Well, the Dancing Raisins. So this contest started in the summer of 1984. 7 winners got to go to New York to find 12 boxes of raisins. Showed that they found them all hidden somewhere around landmarks of Manhattan. And the one winner got $25,000. So now you're saying, well, Junkman, what's this got to do with the Back to the Future? It came out a year later. Well, I was researching this. I discovered a lawsuit I never heard of. And it's not really related to the contest, but in a way, the Raisin people got their $25,000 back thanks to suing Back to the Future. Or I guess the production company of Back to the Future. Why is that? Well, it seems the California Advisory Board bought film time in Back to the Future. There was going to be a scene of Marty eating raisins. I guess they thought this would get teenagers to think it was cool to eat raisins. Kids don't even want raisins in their cookies. You remember they get a cookie and it's got a chocolate chip in it and you think until you bite into it and there's a damn oatmeal raisin cookie? Don't get me started. But anyway, there was a scene of Marty eating a raisin, but it was cut off the final release of the film. What did this Raisin Advisory Board do? Think they just rolled over and turned into wine? No, they didn't. They sued Universal Studios to get back some of the money. Now, they couldn't get back all the money because it seemed they also bought a bench that would be in the movie that said California Raisins on it. And I started digging through the movie to find out where this was. I figured it had to be in downtown Hill Valley, so I started there in 1985, and all I could find was this bench that Marty and Jennifer sat on, but that was to the jewelry company, Zayres. I want to say Zayres. Zayres. I don't know how you say it. But here, this is all I could find. So I went back to when Marty goes back in time. And what did I find? Yep. A hobo asleep on the bench. This was near the end when they were trying to get Marty back to 1985. And there's a bum laying on a bench that says California Raisin. So they didn't get that back money because that was in the movie. To me, I don't think if I was them, I would have said, hey, put me in 1985. Don't put me in 1955 with a bum sleeping on me. That just doesn't seem like it would get kids to want raisins. But also, I don't think anyone even noticed that this thing said California Raisin, unless maybe you're a diehard Back to the Future fan. But I did find the scene. Anyway, they was rewarded $25,000 back to them from the production company because the scene of Marty eating a raisin was cut out. I don't know if that scene's on the deleted scenes or anything. I don't know. Maybe if you know a lot about Back to the Future, you can let me know. You can be like, oh, that's a famous scene. It's on the DVD extras. So you can let me know that. So in a way, they got that $25,000 back that they just gave away a year before in 1984. I'm just surprised that a Raisin Advisory Board has this much money to throw around. Where are they getting this money? That should be the next video. Who's giving money to a California Raisin Advisory Board? And this is before they made millions off those dancing raisins. Anyway, I'm glad I could figure this out. Now we know what the $25,000 hunt was. But I still have one question. This little kid wearing this shirt, was he one of those 7? I like to think that while everyone was going around their limousine ride trying to find these, him and his brother and his mom ran into people dressed like Skeletor and He-Man, and they lost the contest because they hung around to take pictures. That's a little end to the story that I made up. Maybe it's true. Who knows? Maybe the kid that's out there sees this video and can let me know more. Maybe his mom won the $25,000. If so, I bet he got a lot of He-Man toys for Christmas. Well, for all those wondering what this contest was, now you know. I doubt anyone gave a shit but me.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.